Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a very special episode of the Circle Club. I am here with my beautiful co-host, as always, Miss Talia of Tea Time, and special guest, Miss Jamie Lee. Make sure you go check out her channel because she's got a great interview with someone special from the boys. Nice little tease. As always, you got our Mr. Star Wars Matt to my left here, and below our historian. I feel like we got to offer him a Circle Club contract at this point. This guy's coming in here, just break it. I mean, the last video we did, I did numbers. It had you in it with Elvis and For All Mankind. So
I give him a contract based off his background alone.
yeah, seriously. So we got the whole gang here. Hello, everyone. And we're talking about The Boys, season 3 finale. A lot of different controversies about the end, where the show's going. Do we feel it actually made some good progress? But let's start with Miss Talia. Like, what was your quick reaction to the ending? Did you like it or not?
I did.
Good. Okay.
I thought it was definitely I think leading up to it was chaotic, but I feel like I'm pretty satisfied with the ending of it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it, obviously.
Yeah, I think I was pretty satisfied myself. What about you, Adam?
I love this show, man. Like, I feel like when the season started, it's like, all right, here's the threads we're gonna have for the whole season.
Yep.
And as the season progressed, it hit on all those threads. It gave me payoffs, but it left me like breadcrumbs for the next season. I'm hyped for.
Totally. And what about you, Jamie Lee?
Same thing. I loved it. I love the ending. I get really angry because a lot of people say they don't like it because it wasn't as, I guess, action-packed as that fight scene with Homelander and Butcher. And I think because that episode was so strong that's where people are like a little bit, that last fight scene was disappointing. Yeah. But I think it's so good because it opens the door, it leaves Soldier Boy, he can come back at any point, killing him off. What good would that have done?
No.
And same with Homelander. No one really wants Homelander to die. Let's be honest. He's a great villain. He sucks, but he's a great villain.
Tyrone wants him to die.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Matt?
I feel tempted to say I didn't like it because everyone loves it, but I texted you right after I watched it. I was like, this is peak television.
Oh my God.
The Boys is fantastic.
I was gonna say, I'll expose those texts, sir.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
I can see what some people might feel about where we ended versus where we started. But I think I care less about the implications of that. But I really like the characters and how every character grew in a significant way this season. This was kind of like a huge turning point for a lot of characters, and it'll be interesting to see where they go next because there's been a lot of build up towards certain characters, and even like this season we were introduced to people's flaws, or we were introduced to people's mindsets. It took 3 seasons to kind of get to know these characters better, so to see them take this step is exciting.
That's good. So that's really everyone's initial reactions. And Matt, I think that's a great segue because I was, when you talk about all these characters, their growth, where they went, how they, started, the one character that kind of I was upset about was Maeve. I'm a big Maeve fan. I like Maeve, and I felt like we did not get enough Maeve. And I think that there's so much more with that character that at the end there, when she got that little send-off, at first I was like, there's no way she's dead. If she's dead, I'm going to be really, really angry. And then she survived it, and I'm like, that's good, because it also it showcases how powerful she really is. And I think that the boys are going to need someone like that in their corner. To Jamie Lee's point, having Soldier Boy in our back pocket, that's a great little piece. I think that we'll see Maeve come back in future seasons. Maybe they hold off for season 4. The actress herself, she is just phenomenal. Her name is Dominique McElligott. I'm sure we'll see a whole ton of more roles for her coming. But that was just the one thing that kind of bothered me this season is I thought we didn't get enough Maeve, and I think that realistically, I don't think the boys stand a chance if she's not in their corner. I'm not sure how you guys felt about that, but
Well,
you know?
how is she going to be in their corner if she has no powers, though? Like, how impactful could she really be?
Right.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think we've seen with Kimiko, if you lose your powers, you can get them back as long as you use the compound V.
Temp V, yeah.
No, the full V. I don't know what benefit we get from her getting powers again. I think like her getting to be human and getting to live a life with Elena, which I was really pleased to see again, because I was kind of sad where the two of them ended off beforehand, but we've seen her kind of take this, kind of learn to be human again, and almost like in an interesting way in this world, the only way to really be human is to lose your powers, like. Which kind of is a contrast to what we've seen in like our Paragon characters like Superman, where like they find humanity through their powers.
Yeah.
So I thought that was nice. I kind of thought it would have been interesting to see that hero sacrifice for her to like actually die. And I didn't get into
that's what I was a little bit disappointed with. Like, that would have been her perfect sacrifice and make up for the plane when she didn't save all them people. Do you know what I mean? Like, that ending for her would have been perfect. Like, I do like her living on a farm and living normal. That's great too. But yeah, that would have really, and like, really, there's no other way that you can kill her. Like, that would have been such a great death for her to really go out on. So I was torn between that as well.
Yeah, I think I just quick thing. I do think that. All right. I think it's sometimes you don't always have to see a character die to make a sacrifice, like a redemption. It's nice to see somebody live, but I would like her to either the death of the character, like either like actually die because it felt like there were actual implications of what happened, versus the or like the death of a character where she goes off, we don't see her anymore. Like, I think that makes it more impactful versus like, hey, this is just a chess piece we can use later.
I think to your point, Matt, that it's nice to see that she gets to move on and live her life, and it also kind of leaves the door open for her to potentially come back later. Was there any other things that you sort of bothered you all from this season? Jamie, I know you have very strong personality, so let's hear one of your takes.
I love the show, so there's not a lot that I can really pick on. There's only good things. So do you want any good things or no?
Sure. Go on. Yeah.
Can I be nice? Back to what Matt was saying earlier, I really liked Hughie because I hated Hughie all through the season. So seeing him make the choice between him being the hero or Starlight and him giving that to Starlight, that was just like ultimate character arc perfection to me. Like I was so happy to see that.
Do you think that's going to... Yeah. No, I
one
agree.
Of the many.
Matt and I were going back and forth about Hughie all season. We were like, what is wrong with this guy? Do you think that's going to stick? Do you think that will, in the future seasons, we'll see some influence from Butcher, or do you think it's going to stick?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're gonna come up with some creative conflict in the future, especially since like the boys are kind of constructed the way they are. But what, Talia, Adam, what are your thoughts? What were things that you liked or things you disliked, if anything?
Does Adam want to go first?
Ladies first.
You guys are so cute.
I was pretty satisfied with this season. I think they hit off like many. I'm thinking of like the characters development, like Matt was saying earlier. I think they did a great job throughout the season, kind of, showing off, oh, maybe we should hate this person, maybe we shouldn't. Some people had redemption, some we were just like, damn, like they failed us one more time. I'm thinking like A-Train, for example.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really excited to just see just what they're gonna keep going with each character's plot line, and I'm glad like no major character really died. I think we had a fear of that coming into the season finale, but I'm glad they're mostly all alive, and here to stick around.
Yeah, and connecting what Jamie Lee said, I agree. Like it's like you want, Homelander is a scumbag, but you don't really want them to go away, and it's weird.
Yeah.
This is one of those shows is like you hate those characters, but at the same time you love to see like the chaos and mess they're making.
Yeah.
I was telling Adam, I was kind of glad they didn't kill him, or like I would feel sad if they did, just because he's such a big part of this show. But I just don't know what they do without him. Like put on a new villain or something. I don't know, but I'm glad he's sticking around.
I think they've done some really creative things with him to kind of make him more vulnerable.
Mm.
We were talking, it feels so long ago, but the beginning of the season, he was like fucking terrifying. Like he was doing some awful shit. And then some weird things, kind of like his fear in the whole father plot line with Soldier Boy almost kind of made him like vulnerable in the sense where you didn't fully hate him. Like you kind of, I almost forgot about the terrible shit he did at the beginning. I still don't like him, but it's interesting how they use him. But Adam, what'd you like?
What I like, I mean, like I said, man, especially when you compare it to Marvel, I try and take shots at Marvel, but just like, you know, that quality start to finish. But Victoria Newman, I'm hyped to see where her story goes. I called it in our breakdown last week. Puppet Master, man.
Yes.
Palpatine behind the scenes. I think she'll be a big threat next year.
Yeah.
And then Homelander with his son. So just like that combination. It's going to be really interesting because I feel like his son wants to be good, but he doesn't know how.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel for him. But at the same time, I'm salty because like we low-key could kill Homelander if it wasn't for you, dude. So it's like, come on now, man.
It's funny to see that, like, for a moment there, it almost looked like he was going to do the right thing and step up, and you're like, whoa, like, maybe he steps into this role about being a hero, and then when that didn't happen, you're like, oh, I guess we just got another villain.
I think, like, I guess, like, we can kind of ask around, like, what was our feelings about Ryan being brought into the mix at the end there, and then his ultimate decision to stand with Homelander? That's a big point of contention online.
Yeah, call me harsh, but I'm not a big fan of the acting. I mean, I know he's a kid and stuff, so you got to be a little bit loose, but I think that I'm not a big fan of his performance, but I think, and like having the kid, the character in it, I think it does make sense. I think it's a natural progression of what to see next. I mean, one thing I constantly wonder is, you know, if Homelander Talia, like you said, if he does get defeated, then who's next, you know, and where does that take us? Jamie Lee, what about you?
The only part that I had an issue with was that lip trembling. I was like, oh, that's so cringy. But I like the actor. I like the fact that they're bringing a child into it because they're actually making a spin-off, which is going to be like a like university setting. Yep. So yeah, it really, I know I shouldn't talk about my Cobra Kai, but like they're planting seeds to set up for like different generations and stuff.
Yes.
You know, like you've got the older ones who are like Homelander and Butcher and things like that, but then you're also going to have the teens, and like by bringing Ryan into it, you can create like a whole new, like, what do you guys call it? Elementary school, like primary school, like little kids again, you know, superheroes.
Yeah.
So it opens up like a whole new world for that. And back to like what Matt was saying about how you felt about him choosing Homelander. If you actually watch that episode back, when Ryan was attacked by Soldier Boy, Homelander was the first person that ran to Ryan and was like comforting him when he had the cut. Yeah. Butcher was standing there like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what decision do I make? Do I take out my enemy or do I protect my, you know, kid, so to speak? So that was really interesting that Homelander does care. You know, like he does have heart, and I think he is. I mean, I protect bad guys a lot, and I feel like really bad for that.
She does. I love it. You guys gotta go check out her channel. Really, like she's the best.
I like bad guys, and I always feel sad for him. But honestly, he has a sad life, like a sad upbringing, and I think they're trying to show that and like set up some sort of payoff for him to have a family, and I like it. I like where it's going.
Yeah, I think one thing to tease Marvel again and let Adam get his thoughts is I think like that's one that's well that's just one thing that people say a lot about the Marvel villain is that, like, you know, one reason people really like Killmonger is because they can kind of see both sides, and I think that's true to most characters. Everyone's got multiple, they're multifaceted and layered, and so that's one of my favorite things about the boys. I mean, even with Butcher, like Butcher makes a lot of bad decisions, but Mother's Milk was really one of my favorites this season. Like he was a great moral compass and balance.
He's one of my favorite characters, like in media right now. He's so amazing.
What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the villain real quick. I mean, like Marvel, like you can count on one hand, like they're good villains, and half of them die after one movie anyway. So it's like, you know what I mean? But like, and again with Homelander too, like if you sit down and kind of think about it, like you can't help but feel for him, because like going back to season 1 when it shows the flashbacks of him as a kid, like he legit grew up in like, you know, solitary confinement, devoid of human contact. Like for anyone who's in that situation, we'd probably all be messed up like him.
I think going back to his thing, him and Ryan, I think a lot of people forget the reason why people were frustrated with his choice. They forgot that Butcher literally blamed him for the death of Becca during one of his like shitty outbursts. He's a piece of fucking garbage. He's annoying as hell. And he basically just blamed him for the death of his own mother in like a very traumatic situation. And when Homelander finds him, you know, before Homelander was, when he was meeting with Ryan in season 2, it was more about like legacy and like training him to be superpowered, but then going through this bout of like understanding he had a father and he wasn't just, and what he missed, you know, the moment is eerie, but it's really tender between him and Ryan, where he basically just says, I'm gonna love you no matter what you do. Yeah, like the first unconditional love that he's received since Becca died. So it makes sense why, like, just because Butcher stands next to him for a moment during the middle of a fight isn't going to change the way that he feels about him. Like to Ryan, Butcher's going to have to prove that he actually loves him. And up until now, he hasn't loved him unconditionally. He's only loved him under the condition of Becca. And that's why, like, even that moment where Soldier Boy's like shit talk, like, oh, you fucked your wife, and like, it's not even your kid. And it's like, that's still like, you know, that's still real. That's so. Yeah, and I'm fine with it. The decision makes sense to me.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he's a kid, right? And so, like, he's like gonna emotionally, he's like very screwed up, doesn't really know who to believe, what's going on. One person tells him this, that, and that's why I think that it really is, to answer that question. I think it's a great that they are bringing him into the fold, and I think also him just acting with those other actors, I think he's going to improve and get better over time. But yeah, so all right, before we get out of here, I'm curious to know what you guys think about the future of this show. Where do you go? I mean, Adam, you sort of talked a little bit about where you think the show is heading, but I'm curious what everyone thinks. Adam, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I'll get it
going. Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like Vought's just kind of like, they're gonna fade into the background now. Like they'll be there, but like they're not gonna be the big player. Now, I mean, obviously Newman, right? I mean, I feel like it's almost ludicrous for her not to be president by the end of the next season, right? Like, yes.
True. They might kill the Prez. That's a good
right?
Definitely.
So it's like, all right, what are those wrinkles gonna look like? But also, I mean, there's what? 3 guys now in the 7. So like, is that team gonna get flushed out even more? I mean, think of all the new potential like soups or soups we could get.
Do you think we'll see some more villains next season?
Oh, I mean, definitely, like, you know, losers. There'll definitely be more losers, because the show's all about losers, which just makes it so awesome. Makes you feel better about your life. But I mean, definitely, I think Ryan will definitely probably be like, you know, I think next season off the rip, we're going to get him in a costume, and he'll be like some super kid or whatever, you know. But yeah, I feel like the big conflict will be trying to save Ryan, and then Newman in the background pulling all the strings again. That's my prediction.
How about you, Jamie Lee?
Yeah, same thing. I think she plays a really big part in next season because, like, fun fact, the Deep killed his first person. He's never killed before. And Homelander told him to do that. And Homelander told him to do that because obviously Newman wanted it. So yeah, I think she's really, she's going to make a big explosion in the next season. And same thing, I just think it's going to be like child focused, and, you know, Butcher's going to go after Soldier Boy because he wants to like save Ryan, because he's going to make Ryan a baddie, things like this. So yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go as well. But I'm really curious because I've got this really, I don't know, this show does crazy things, and I think that Black Noir's not dead. So I'm curious to see if they're going to bring him back or not. Maybe I'm just overthinking and that's what I want to happen. But yeah, I'd really like to see him come back, and I don't know. I just think he's such a mystery, and he has such a strange relationship with Homelander. And yeah, I'd like to see more of that, I guess. And yeah, I can't really see it when his guts are hanging out on the floor.
Yeah.
That was so sad. If I could say
Very
anything I
sad.
didn't like about the episode is that I felt Black Noir got robbed just as we were
Very
getting
sad.
to know him
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, when I look at Black
When the
Noir,
little-
Like, disappeared in his eye. I was like, my heart.
Yes. And he's
Yeah.
like, Irving, you're gonna go see Christ.
Yeah.
Stop it. It hurts.
What about you, Mr. Matt?
I think we've had it too good for too long. I think some pivotal characters are gonna die next season. And if Mother's Milk dies, I'm not watching the show. I'm done.
I think it's gonna be Frenchie.
I think so too. I think Frenchie's gonna
Don't
die.
hurt
I
me.
love Frenchie.
I love him. I love him so
him.
much.
He's fantastic.
Jamie Lee, I
No.
need you to take that back right now.
Him and,
I
like,
don't want him to die, but I've said it for at least a whole season. Frenchie's gonna die, and they're setting it up with him and Kimiko. Like,
I know.
it's gonna happen.
Kimiko, their friendship is wonderful. I don't know if it's still a friendship. They're confusing as hell. They're never on the same page. One wants the other, when the other one wants to be a friend. But I love the two of them. Maybe that's the build-up for season 4. Maybe they finally embrace each other, and then we get our fucking guts ripped out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna start seeing, because the end of this season kind of made the danger not feel as big when everyone walked out of that finale A-okay. So I think they're gonna kind of reel us back into like, no, this world is very dangerous and there's very real consequences. So I just hope Mother's Milk survives.
And last but not least, Miss Talia. Any final thoughts?
I agree with Matt. I think someone will die, and I feel like it might be Butch.
Ooh, that would be a bold move, but
because he is dying. He is
true.
dying. So
I went the other way with that though. I went, he's dying. He's gonna take permanent V.
That's a good
Oh,
point.
Be a suit.
good.
That's
That's
a good point.
true.
That would be something, huh? And then that
You just
creates
gotta
this
hope she gets the
conflicting.
right powers. Otherwise it'd suck.
Yeah. I think for something that bold too, that completely changes the direction of the boys and like the morality of that team as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And it could happen because the best thing about this show is that they are bold. They do make decisions and choices that no other franchise makes. Like you think they've gone there and then they just go even higher, you know, like they're very, very good.
It seems like, sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Oh, just quick thing. What I applaud them for is and this actually is barely following the comics. Don't read the comics. The comics are friggin' terrible and disgusting. So I applaud all the writing team that they've turned these characters into interesting people with like actual motivations and not just like crude shock value. So just to add on your point, Jamie Lee.
That's cool.
I have nothing but great things to say about them.
Yeah, I like to think about the business side of it sometimes too, and I think that, you know, even though this is clearly Amazon's like prime real estate, like this is their main thing, it seems
No
like
pun intended.
Yeah, and I don't know if it doesn't seem like they're stuck on doing 20 seasons of this show, and we don't fully know that. And I think, Jamie Lee, to your point that they're gonna have this spin-off with the university, we saw the cartoon. I think they know that there's different routes that they can go with it. So I don't see this being a show that goes on forever, and I think that's really admirable about them as well.
Yeah, I think the writers actually said they only have 5 seasons planned. So I think we're gonna see a crazy season 5. Like,
all right, now
once we get there.
Before we head out, with one last quick question, we'll go around really quick. Is what do we think Homelander's son's soup name is going to be? Jamie Lee brought this to us, so maybe Jamie Lee, you can start us out.
Oh God.
I don't have one myself because I'm not I can't think up creative things like that on the spot. But I really do like the Homeboy one. That made me laugh so much. So I'm gonna stick with that. Let's call him Little Homeboy.
I like that. I like the Homeboy name. That also would help him in the urban community, because we know that Homelander
With A-Train.
Homelander needs all the help he can get in that direction. I say Lil Homie. I think that could work too.
Okay.
I know I'm asking you guys on the spot, so you know if you just want to agree or.
I'm thinking off the top of my head, I don't know if they'll go this way, but Homefront, maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
Right? Like, I'm doing it for the home front, and this is my home front.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, something very Americana.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't think of anything good, so I'm just gonna say home is where the heart is.
Home is where the heart is.
That could be his catchphrase.
Mouthful. It's a long one.
Yeah. Honestly, I could see the show being kind of like satirical and funny like that, though, where they're like, it's home for the where the heart is. Oh boy.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. And you know they like to play with these like parallels of the Captain America and Superman and all that too. So we could definitely see something like that. But all right, Talia, I think that I'm looking. That look in your eye says I got nothing. So
don't ask me.
I've seen that look before.
I second all your choices.
Yes,
so
yes,
we'll go with that.
And I sort of cheated off of Jamie Lee anyway. So
Can I just butt in on what Adam said? Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say last thing.
You go.
Got it. Hands off to Jensen Ackles. He was amazing. I'm glad Soldier Boy's not dead. He stole the fucking show. He was so good.
For sure. Can I piggyback off what Adam said?
Sure.
So we're talking about like Homelander and Stormfront, which, you know, they had some sort of relationship. What relationship did
Homelander?
Not Homelander. Soldier Boy.
Okay.
So who is Homelander's
It
mum?
was encountered.
If the dad was Soldier Boy, the mum obviously wasn't Crimson. So who is Homelander's mum? That's a route that they can take as well if they wanted to.
That is a great question to end this video down below. Who do you think? I have
no answers.
I have no idea. If you guys want to find out more and you want to dance with those theories, you're gonna have to go over to Miss Jamie Lee's channel. In this one,
I don't have the answers.
Oh, you're gonna have to make them.
I just have questions.
And make sure you check.
That'll be your tagline. I just have questions.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Make sure you go follow and subscribe to everyone here. They'll be in the description below. Again, thank you so much, Jamie Lee, for joining us today, and Miss Talia of Tea Time, Matt, Adam as well. And yeah, make sure you go check out our stuff, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. And remember, just be you. Peace.